Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into Carol Dweck's fascinating research, and let me tell you, it completely dismantles everything we thought we knew about natural talent and potential. Get ready, because we're going to completely change the way you view success, failure, and the actual effort it takes to achieve greatness. But before we really get into it, I want you to stop and ask yourself a quick question to challenge your own internal biases. Seriously, think about it right now. When do you actually feel smart? Is it when you're completely flawless, just knocking something out of the park perfectly on the first try? Or is it when you're struggling, stretching yourself, and learning something entirely new? How you answer that actually reveals a whole lot about the psychological universe you're currently living in. Section 1, the myth of natural genius. Okay, let's try a quick visualization. Picture Thomas Edison inventing the light bulb. What actually pops into your head? You're probably picturing a brilliant, reclusive guy in a white coat having this sudden, magical eureka moment all by himself in a dark laboratory, right? I mean, that's the standard narrative we've all been fed since we were kids. Well, guess what? The historical record totally shatters that myth. He wasn't some lone wolf working in isolation. He actually had a massive, corporate-funded laboratory with 30 highly trained assistants, chemists, physicists, glassblowers, the whole shebang. And it definitely wasn't a sudden light bulb moment. It was years of grueling, iterative, time-consuming tinkering. The myth tells us it was this natural, effortless discovery, but the reality is that his success was the byproduct of a massive team and just relentless effort. What really set Edison apart wasn't magic, it was his incredible drive. Section 2, fixed versus growth mindsets. So, if you're living in the fixed mindset universe, you fundamentally believe you're dealt a specific hand of talent and intelligence. Your qualities are just carved in stone. And because of this, it creates an intense, lifelong urgency to constantly prove that you're smart. Literally, every single situation becomes a high-stakes evaluation. Will I succeed or fail? Am I going to look smart or dumb? Will I be a winner or a loser? On the flip side, we have the growth mindset. In this reality, the hand you're dealt, that's just the starting line. Success isn't about proving you're already a genius. It's about stretching yourself to learn and grow. It's this profound understanding that a person's true potential is totally unknown, and it's basically impossible to foresee what someone can accomplish with years of passion and toil. And it's wild because this even bleeds into our most intimate relationships. When researchers asked young adults to describe their ideal romantic partner, the differences were staggering. The fixed mindset actually demands a partner who acts almost like a worshiper, someone who puts them on a pedestal and makes them feel flawless just to protect their ego. But the growth mindset seeks out something entirely different. They want a partner who fosters personal development, someone who sees their faults and actively challenges them to become better. It's crazy, but one person's dream relationship is literally the other person's absolute nightmare. Let's look at what happens when things get academically tough, like really tough. Think about a grueling pre-med chemistry class. At the beginning of the semester, everybody is super interested. But as the work gets incredibly challenging, the fixed mindset students see their interest just fall off a cliff the moment they stop feeling flawless. If it isn't an immediate testimony to their raw intelligence, they just can't enjoy it. But the growth mindset students, their interest stays sky high. They actually thrive on the challenge, seeing the difficulty as the exact reason they need to push harder. Section 3, redefining the meaning of failure. It's amazing how a fixed mindset can take a totally ordinary bad day and turn it into a permanent identity. Imagine getting a C+ on a midterm and a parking ticket on the exact same day. For someone with a fixed mindset, it means you are a failure. The universe is out to destroy you. It's a permanent stain on your identity. Whereas a person with a growth mindset simply sees a problem to be solved. They're thinking, okay, I need to change how I study, and I'll just go pay the fine. They feel the sting, sure, but they deal with it directly instead of internalizing it. Because failure is literally an identity crisis for someone with a fixed mindset. They have to come up with these wild, endless excuses just to protect their ego. Take tennis legend John McEnroe. He was notoriously famous for his fixed mindset. He blames his losses on everything under the sun. A fever, the sawdust on the court being ground too fine, or even an NBC cameraman taking off a headset during the 1984 French Open. Instead of just examining his own effort or emotional control, he pointed the finger at background noise. And this same intense fear of failure leads to what's known as CEO disease. This is when leaders basically just want to sit on a pedestal and exile anyone who criticizes them. They try to construct this artificial bubble with zero shortcomings rather than just facing reality. Chrysler's Lee Iacocca is a prime example from the source text. He caught a terribly bad case of CEO disease. By surrounding himself with worshipers and refusing to adapt or learn, he completely lost touch with the market and nearly tanked his company, all just to avoid looking like a non-learner.
Section 4. The true power of effort.
Here's the crazy thing. A fixed mindset actually stigmatizes trying hard. Our society absolutely loves to celebrate the effortless, natural genius, right? So if you're locked in a fixed mindset, needing to put in effort means you must inherently lack natural ability. Effort leaves you incredibly vulnerable because it strips away all your built-in excuses. When it comes down to it, it is so much safer for your ego to hold on to your unfulfilled potential and say, hey, I could have been a contender, rather than giving it your absolute all and risking failure.
Just look at how this paralyzed former child prodigy, Naja Salerno-Sonnenberg. By age 10, she's making this huge, prestigious violin debut with the Philadelphia Orchestra. But flash forward to her late teens studying at Juilliard, and she is actively refusing to practice. She wouldn't even bring her violin to her own lessons. And why? Because she was terrified. She knew that if she truly gave it her all and still wasn't the absolute best, she wouldn't have any excuses left to fall back on. It wasn't until her early 20s, when her teacher basically threatened to kick her out, that she finally put in an honest effort, entered a major competition, and won. Now, contrast that paralyzing fear of effort with a growth-minded icon like Michael Jordan. When he came back to basketball, people were treating him like he was this flawless, effortless deity, and he was genuinely shocked by it. He actively rejected that pedestal, reminding everyone, hey, I'm a human being like everyone else. Jordan knew his greatness wasn't some magical endowment. It was the direct result of struggling, sweating, and pushing himself way harder than anyone else on the court. He respected the grind, not just the talent.
Section 5. Changing your own mindset.
The most empowering takeaway from all of this is that you aren't stuck. By simply identifying these fixed mindset triggers in your own life, you can consciously choose to reprogram how your brain handles obstacles. First up, you have to recognize that mindsets are just beliefs. They are not permanent traits carved in your DNA. You can literally change your mind. Second, you've got to start catching yourself when you make excuses, seek pure validation, or run away from a tough challenge. And third, you have to consciously reframe effort. Stop seeing it as a sign of weakness and start viewing it as the exact tool that ignites your ability and turns it into real accomplishment. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a choice about which universe you actually want to live in. When it is all said and done, do you want to look back on your life and safely say, I could have been great, while clinging to your ego? Or do you want to look back and say, I gave my absolute all for the things that mattered to me? I really hope this inspires you to lean into the challenge, embrace the effort, and finally unlock what you are truly capable of.